Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It is Motivation Monday today. Today's topic is let's stop complaining and making excuses. Whoa! Stop complaining and making up excuses. We all are guilty of that, I think. I know I am. And God has taken me through a journey these past 4 years that have led me to realize that I'm capable, and He gives me the power to go after my dreams and after my passions and my desires. Why? Because it is God working inside of you, giving you those passions and those desires, plus the power to do those things that He wants you to do. So, when I was reading scripture and I read one verse out of Numbers chapter 14, and it says this. This is something the Lord told Moses, and it really just echoed in my head and in my heart. I was like, wow, this is what happens when all we do is sit down and complain and make up excuses about why we haven't reached certain goals or haven't done some things that we have said that we were going to do. This is what happens. This is what the Lord said. How long must I put up with this wicked community and its complaints about me? Yes, I have heard the complaints the Israelites are making against me. Now tell them this. As surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do the things I have heard them say. What? That's strong, people. That is powerful. He says, you will drop dead in the wilderness, because that's all that the Israelites were saying. We're going to drop dead in the wilderness. We're going to die in the wilderness. They just brought us out here to die. And that's exactly what the Lord allowed to happen. So when we sit around and complain about why we haven't reached certain goals, why we haven't done certain things, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're just going to sit there and complain and stay in that same place forever and ever and ever. Have you ever met somebody that has been complaining about the same thing for years and years, and they're in exactly the same place? I don't want that for me, and I'm sure you don't want that for you. So I want to remind you that God gives you the power to reach your goals and your dreams, to give you that promise that's connected to those desires, because it is God working inside of you that puts those desires in your heart so that you can start moving into the direction of your promises. God has laid promises beyond promises before you, and you have to get up and do the things that you need to do to reach those goals. And He leads you by the desires of your heart. And in 2 Peter 1 and 3, it says this is what tells me that I know that I have what it takes, and the Lord has already given me everything I need to fulfill those goals and reach my promises. It says, by His divine power, God has given us everything we need for living a godly life. We have received all of this by coming to know Him, the one who called us to Himself by means of His marvelous glory and excellence. And because of His glory and excellence, He has given us great and precious promises. These are the promises that enable you to share His divine nature and escape the world's corruption caused by human desires. So He wants us to reach those promises that He's laid before us, because it is when we reach those promises that we share God's goodness to others, that we're able to show not just by our words but by where we are, our status, that we have reached goals, that we have reached promises, and we're living a godly life, and we're living a life in abundance, which is what He desires for us. So the next verse in 2 Peter 1, verse 5, 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 5 says, in all of this is where it tells us that we have to do the work. In view of all this, make every effort to respond to God's promises. So that tells me that I need to do things, even if they're hard, even if it seems scary, even if it seems like the odds are against me. If God has put a desire in my heart. Okay, so my battery died on my camera and my spare battery was dead. So we're going to finish up on my phone. Where did I leave off? I was on, if the Lord has given me these passions, then He's given me the power to fulfill and reach those promises, because He wants me to have that abundant life. He wants me to reach those goals because it shows His glory on me. It magnifies His glory in my life so that others can see it. So His desire is that you live an abundant life. He's giving you the power and the tools. And so you have two choices. You can sit there and complain and make up excuse after excuse after excuse and stay in the same place. Or you can believe in yourself, believe in what God has done for you in your life, and believe that He's giving you the power to pursue those desires and reach those goals, because there is a promise attached to that desire. But we can lose that promise if we sit and complain about it, because that is what the Lord allowed to happen to the Israelites, that He was not going to allow anyone of that generation to enter the promised land because they rebelled against Him and they complained about that they were just there to die in the wilderness. And God had already given them that promise. There was a promise that was laid before them to take possession of that land, but they didn't make it to that promised land. Only two made it, which was Caleb and Joshua, because they were the only two that believed in what the Lord had promised them, that they could go into that land, fight the people that lived there, and take possession of that promise. So what are you going to do today? Identify that desire that you have in your heart. Maybe you have something inside of you and you don't even believe it for yourself. But if it's in you, it's because God believes in you, and He has given you that power to pursue that promise. There is a promise connected to every desire in your heart. So sit there and complain about it, or get up and move. Every step that you take every single day just gets you closer and closer to your goal. Every single step. You're gonna have to do changes in your life. You're gonna have to break old habits that keep you from reaching your goals, those habits that are no good for you, and make new habits, the habits that are gonna make you a better person and help you get closer to those goals and those promises that you have. What is it that you want? What is your desire? Is it financial freedom? Is it going back to school? Is it opening a business, writing a book, saving your marriage? What is your desire? If it's in you, then there's a promise connected to it. And it is up to you to make every effort to respond to that promise that the Lord has given you. I hope this Motivation Monday has blessed you as it has completely blessed me these past few years that the Lord has been working in my life to reach goals that He's put these desires in my heart for. And I hope it blesses you today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.